Hey there, I am Joey and you are watching a video from my dynamic programming tutorial. I'm going to explain to you a dynamic programming problem in this video which I have taken from the website of LeetCode. The problem goes by the title Get Maximum in Generated Array. You are given an integer n. The problem talks about an array named nums of length n plus 1 that is produced using the below formula. So the first cell of the array, that means the cell at index 0, is assigned the value 0. The second cell of the array, that is the cell at index 1, is assigned the value 1. And the subsequent cells are derived using these formulas. So if I replace I by 1 in this particular formula, then the calculated index is going to come out as 2. So nums of 2 is going to be equal to nums of 1 because I is 1. So 2 multiplied by 1, although it is giving me 2, but according to this formula, it is going to be equal to the value which is placed at nums of 1. Similarly, if I replace I by 1, then the resulting index is going to come out as 3, but it will be equal to nums of 1 since I is 1 plus nums of 2. It is going to be the addition of the value of the cell at index 1 and the value in the cell at index 2. All you have to do is find out the maximum value from this array nums. The problem is about constructing the array using dynamic programming. That means you should use the subproblems to calculate the value of the next subproblems. So before we begin solving this DP problem, I want you to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon, as that way you will get notified whenever I release new videos like these in the future. Like I said, we'll first create the array and then it becomes very easy to find the maximum value. Let's try to find out the pattern first so that we can use the existing subproblems to determine the value of the new subproblems. You see, we have 0 in the first cell and 1 in the second cell as per the problem. Now you can see that index 2 can be rewritten as 2 multiplied by 1. As per the formula given in the question, I is 1, and when we have the value of the I discovered, then the value which we are going to populate in the cell at index 2 will come from the cell at index 1. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to populate 1 in this cell. Similarly, 3 can be rewritten as 2 multiplied by 1 plus 1. Now we have our I discovered already. So I is 1. So when I is 1, as per the condition, or I can say as per the formula given in the question, value which we are going to populate in the cell at index 3 will be the value of the cell at index 1 and the value of cell at index 2. So value in the cell at index 1 is 1 and value in the cell at index 2 is 1. We have just found out. So 1 plus 1 is going to be 2, which I am going to populate in this cell. So for an even index, the subproblems index from which we are going to take the value can be determined by dividing it by 2. Can you see that? So if I divide this 2 multiplied by 1 by 2, I get the index from which I have to take the value as 1. Okay, and this is only for an even index. For the odd index, the subproblems index can be determined if I subtract 1 from the odd index and divide it by 2. And for the other subproblem, or for the other component, which is this, add 1 to the result. So if the index is 3, I subtract 1 from 3. So as a result, I get 2. I divide 2 by 2. So I get 1 as the index of our first subproblem. That means I get the index from which I have to take the value of this component as 1. And now the other component will be 1 plus 1. So we get this component, the index of which will be 2. Hence, it will be 1 plus 1 again, which gives us 2. I think we have figured out our pattern here. So let's quickly generate the array. So I am assuming n is 7, and this is the array that we are going to fill. You can see that I have also provided the index of each of the cells of the array. Once this array is filled with numbers, all we have to do is find out the maximum element. But array generation is the key here. So let's start with the first cell. What we are going to do, we are going to populate 0 in this cell at index 0. And then we move to the next cell. Here I'm going to populate 1. Now we move to this cell at index 2. The index is even. So what we are going to do in this situation, we will simply divide this 2 by 2, which is going to give the result as 1. So we move to the cell at index 1. Here the value is 1. So I'm going to simply populate this cell's value as 1. Now I move to the next cell. Here the index is 3, which is odd. So what we do in this case, I subtract 1 from this 3. That is going to give me 2. I divide this 2 by 2. So that is going to take me to this cell with index 1. Here the value is 1. So I've got my first component as 1. What will be my second component? It will be this one plus 1. So that is going to give me the value of the cell at index 2. So this one plus this one is going to give me 2, and I'm going to populate 2 in here. Now this is same as what we discussed. We move to this cell. Here the index is even. So 4 divided by 2 is going to take me here. At this cell with index 2, the value is 1. So I'm going to populate 1 in this cell straight away. The index is odd here and it is 5. So 5 minus 1 is going to give me 4. So I divide 4 by 2, that is going to take me to this cell. So I've got my first component as 1. Now for my second component, all I have to do is add 1 to this 2. So it is going to give me 3, and the value in the cell at index 3 is 2. So 2 plus 1 is going to give me 3, which I am going to populate here. Now we move to the next cell at index 6. The index is 6, which is even. So when I divide it by 2, I land at this cell with index 3. Here the value is 2. So all I will do is simply populate this cell with 2. Now I move to the next cell. The index is odd and it is 7. So I subtract 1 from 7, that is going to give me 6. I divide 6 by 2. So that is going to give me 3 as the answer. So I shift it to the cell at index 3. Here the value is 2. And this is my first component. For the next component, I'm going to simply add 1 to this 3. That is going to give me 4. So I move to this cell. Here the value is 1. So 1 added to 2 is going to give me 3, which I am going to populate in this cell. So my entire array is filled now. It is full of elements. All I have to do is pick out the maximum element, and with a superficial glance we can figure it out as 3. So 3 is the maximum element or maximum integer from this generated array, and we have just solved this question using dynamic programming. This is one of the easiest problems that you can solve to learn dynamic programming when you are at the beginner level. You'll find the GitHub link to the Java solution of this problem in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed watching this problem. I hope you learned something from this video. Like it, share it, tell people about it. Do let me know how to find it in the comment section. If you have any doubt related to this problem, then also let me know in the comment section. I promise that I'll answer them within 24 hours. I look so much forward to help you with programming and algorithms. Goodbye for now. Take very good care of yourself.